Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and today's reading, I wanted this reading to be about the current path that you're on right now. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Maybe for some of you, this is a path towards building a family. For others, maybe it's a path on finding your soulmate. Maybe it's a path of trying to achieve the perfect career goal that you've always been working towards. Or others, maybe it's just personal goals that you have with yourself of the life that you want to build for yourself. So whatever path that you're on, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever path that you're walking, I wanted this reading to just be like a check-in of sorts of, where are you at right now along this path? What's going on? What are the next steps that we need to take? I want to specifically get guidance from your spirit guides of, what do you need to hear right now? What is it that your next steps need to look like? For some of you, the guidance that you get might be, it's time to take a break and reevaluate where we're at right now. For others, maybe it's a wake-up call that we need to start putting in more work than we have been. For others, maybe it's time to push ourselves out of our comfort zone because these next steps require us to network with people that we've never spoken to, and maybe that's scary. But I really want this reading to help you along your path towards this goal that you've been wanting to achieve. What are the next steps that we need to take? Maybe there's steps that we're not ready for. Maybe it's steps that we're scared to do. But at the end of the day, we know that what we want to achieve is worth it. And so it's kind of just a wake up of, what do we need to do next? And a check in with your spirit guides of where are we at right now? Are you still happy with this path that you're on? How are you feeling about it? How are you doing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, energetically? And what can we do to make sure that you're enjoying the journey, not just the destination, but actually enjoying every step of the way? And if we're not enjoying it, what evaluations need to be made? What changes need to be made to ensure that we're loving every second of this path that we're on? Because something that I think about is my favorite book, The Alchemist. It's basically about this boy that's following what his heart wants to achieve. And something that he learns along the way is if you're only seeking treasure, you're never going to find it. You need to enjoy the path along the way. You need to be fully in on the journey. And if you're just putting one foot in front of the other and you're not really finding the purpose in what you're doing, we might never find that destination. And maybe that's just my personal beliefs, but I'm doing this reading because I personally have been at a point in my life where I'm not sure if I'm still happy with the journey that I'm on. I'm not sure if this path is still for me. But I'm just figuring it out every step of the way, and when I do these readings, I kind of like to ask myself, if I was on the receiving end of this video, what would I want to hear? And this is kind of the reading that I would do for myself, and so I want to do it for those of you that might be in the same position as me. Maybe you're not sure if you're on the right path anymore. Maybe you're not sure of your next steps ahead, and you just want to check in of like, what do I need to hear? Am I still on the right path? Am I doing what's right? Am I going to achieve that goal? And so today I have 3 different readings for you to choose from. We have pile 1 with the green aragonite and the hyena card, pile 2 with the blue dumortierite and the oyster card, and pile 3 with the malachite and the dragon card. So go ahead and pause, figure out which reading you feel most drawn to. There will be timestamps down in the description box below so you can quickly jump to whichever reading that you want to listen to. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, pile 1. If you chose the green aragonite, then this is the reading for you. I want to start by saying I'm using the natural lighting right now, and there's a bunch of clouds, so if it gets like really dark and really bright here and there, that's why. Not really a lot I can do to mitigate that, but just putting that out there in case that bothers you as you're watching this video. But I have a very interesting reading for you, and I want to start off with the current energy that you're in, because you're showing up here as the bear. And when I think of bears, the first thing that I was thinking of is somebody that's really being forced is the wrong word, because I think there is a reason for it, but what was coming to mind is like being forced to live in the cycle of the seasons. And the analogy that kind of came to mind, which I'm sure your life is mirroring in some way, is how if you think of bears, they really live the polar extremes of abundance and lack as they go through life. Because during the winter, they have nothing, to the point where they are living off of their fat reserves and they physically need to sleep and rest and use as little energy as possible because they have nothing. It's a complete period of winter, of nothingness, of lack. But then when they get into spring, when they start to wake up, Have you ever seen those videos of like, they actually have you heard of the fat bear contest? I don't know if that's actually what it's called. You should look it up. It'll make you smile. I'm just smiling thinking about it. But it's basically like bears in the springtime. There is such an abundance of salmon for them and fish to eat that they get so fat to the point that they have contests of who is the fattest bear. And some of these bears get freaking humongous. It's ridiculous. But you think of that, they go from this period of having so little to the point where they're living off of their fat reserves and sleeping just to continue to exist, to then going into springtime where they have so much abundance, so much to eat. It's literally all they have to do is bend down and put their head in the water and there's a salmon right there. A huge salmon that's like providing for them so much. And they live in this cycle of, they get all this abundance, they fatten up, they have a wonderful spring and summer, and then they go back into fall and winter. But instead of freaking out and thinking, oh, woe is me, like I have nothing, they live in tune with the seasons and they have a trust in the cycles that they just allow themselves to rest, to sleep. And obviously bears are not thinking this deeply, but they are living off of instinct and intuition. And that's something I truly believe about all animals, is they are the pure embodiment of intuition, which is really just instinct. And they live in flow with cycles of nature that I feel like we as humans are so far away from. And the reason that I talk about all this is because I think your life is going through these periods of cycles, and instead of seeing the cycles for what they are, as periods of change that you need to go through in order to grow and in order to be moved to the path that you're supposed to be on, in order to move towards the goals that you need to have, or that you're trying to achieve. Instead of seeing those changes as necessary, you see them as catastrophe. And I don't mean to say that these things are not important things. Like, for example, if you get into a car accident, no matter which way you turn it, it's still horrible. You got into a car accident. But I think if you can zoom out for a second and say, why might this be happening for me? Why did this horrible thing happen? Why did I lose that job? If you were to really zoom out, and if you could see from the perspective of the universe, or from the perspective of spirit or God, whatever you want to call it, you would see that everything is happening for you. Everything is happening for your benefit, to bring you to the spot of, maybe I was removed from that job because my dream career is around the corner. And if I was still in that job, I wouldn't have been able to find this. And I know it's easy to say that from looking back and seeing how everything lined up for you. But when you're in the moment, when you're in that period of winter, when your stomach is grumbling and you have nothing and there's not a fish for miles and everything is covered in snow and you're cold, of course it's easy to sit there and say, woe is me, I have nothing. Look at how the universe has torn me down. Instead of seeing, if I can look towards the future, what do I see on the horizon? Can I see springtime is coming? Can I see that I am going to be taken care of? Can I see that abundance is coming for me? I think what Spirit is really asking for you is, first of all, lean on your faith. If you're the kind of person that says everything happens for a reason, and you truly believe that things happen for us, not to us, that everything is happening for our highest good, I ask you to lean on that belief. If you have any semblance of faith that things are going to happen for your highest good, now is the time to lean on it. Because I think that you're going through a period of winter, a period where your stomach is grumbling, things look gray and bleak, but things look gray in the wintertime, because everything's covered in snow and everything's a little darker. But I promise you, what I see for you on the horizon is, if you can wait and if you can make it through this period of winter, abundance is coming on the other side. I want you to have faith that everything is happening for you, and that this period of lack is not forever. And so I want to get into the details of what I'm seeing for your cards here. So starting off with where you're at in your path right now, I see, like I said, you're going through a big period of lack because you have the 10 of Pentacles reversed, which is the complete opposite of where anybody wants to be at, honestly. If you know anything about tarot, the 10 of Pentacles is supposed to symbolize complete abundance, complete achievement of your goals, just completion in general, where every aspect of life feels complete, for lack of a better term. Things are great with family, things are great money-wise. I mean, it's literally showing you're surrounded by money. But with it reversed, it's the complete opposite of that. It's lack of money, lack of abundance, looking at your bank account in fear, or looking at the horizon in fear, or feeling like you're not happy with where you're at right now. And on top of that, the two cards that we have clarifying this card are isolation and anger. I think you're at a point where you feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Abandoned by spirit. I think you feel abandoned by God or your spirit guides, whatever it is that you believe in. You feel like they're not watching out for you right now because you're in this period of loss. It's like, for example, with the car accident example, you get into a car accident and you think, God, where were you? Where were you? Why were you not saving me from this accident? Why didn't you prevent this from happening? And you just feel this sense of anger and this sense of loss, and why am I going through all this? Almost a betrayal, because I feel like you are the kind of person where you do have so much faith in the universe. And then something like this happens and it feels like a slap to the face because I thought that I would be protected from things like this. And I know it's hard to believe this when you're in the moment, but I truly think that you're going through this for a reason. And that you are going to come out on the other side with something even better than what you had. And right now you're feeling these senses of betrayal and loss, and why is this happening to me? Why wasn't I protected from this? Why didn't the universe prevent this? And I want you to know is because no matter how bad it seems, it is happening for a good reason. And it's hard to believe that when you're in the thick of it, and when you're feeling the pain, and when you're feeling the betrayal, or you just suffered the loss. But I promise you, it is happening for a good reason. It's like, I don't know, maybe you get into a car accident because if you had been driving it a little bit longer, it would have blown up and killed you. Like, I know that's a very extreme example, but maybe it's protecting you for a reason. And then you don't even realize it, but you win the lottery, and I don't know. You ever go to Vegas and you see they have like those random cars, and it's like, you have a slim chance of winning this brand new Ferrari. And then it's like, you actually win it. I know these are like random extreme analogies, but I'm trying to give you examples of why the universe might be putting you in this position, of how this might be happening for your highest good. Instead of looking at it and thinking, God, this sucks. Being the bear in the winter and thinking, man, there is nothing around for me. I just want to sit down and cry. Instead of being in that position, I want you to zoom out and ask yourself, why might this be happening for me? What is the universe setting up for me to achieve? Why are things being removed? What could possibly be coming in to fill their place? Because I promise you, I really genuinely, in these cards, and I'm going to get to it, I see wonderful things coming for you. Things that you want to achieve, things that you want to have are coming to you. But in order for that to happen, things need to be moved around. Space needs to be cleared. And sometimes clearing space looks like burning things down. And it's always traumatic when those horrible things happen. I'm not going to discount that and tell you, like, just don't be sad, just, spiritual bypass. I'm not telling you to do that. You are perfectly allowed and within your rights to feel all the feelings that you're going to feel hurt, to feel upset, to mourn the loss of whatever it is that you've lost. You have that right. But I don't want you to get with your head so stuck in the ground that you can't see how beautiful things are still on the horizon. To feel so betrayed that you lose faith altogether. Because that's not the good outcome, I promise you. And so up next, I wanted to get some guidance on what are your next steps along this path. And what I see for you right now, you have the Four of Swords in disruption. And this to me is telling you, just straight up what it's asking is for you to take a break, for you to rest. I think you're the kind of person that's like, okay, I got knocked down. How can I get up as quickly as possible? How can I fix this problem as quickly as possible? And I want to give you kind of an extreme analogy that just came to mind of like, okay, I'm really into football right now. I don't know why. I have this hyperfixation on football. I'm super into it. I watch it every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. But you see these football players, they get into such horrible altercations where they break their arm or their leg or their neck, and that's possibly career ending for them. And not just ending that stream of money that they have, but ending their goal and their dreams that they've had since they were little. Like, how heartbreaking must that be? And sometimes these aren't career-ending breaks. Like, maybe a quarterback breaks his arm, and so therefore he can't throw the ball anymore. damn, that sucks. And so he is forced to sit down. He is forced to take a break. If he is to try to not listen to that, not listen to the pain in his arm, not listen to what the doctors are telling him to do, telling him to rest, and he's like, no, I just need to get back into the game right away, he might end up breaking that arm worse and ruining his chances of ever actually getting back into the league healthy. What he really needs is to sit down and give his arm the time that it needs to heal and not rush back in head first, because if he does, it might get broken and then never get fixed. And then there goes his dreams altogether. And so what I think this means for you, what I'm trying to explain to you is, I don't know exactly what happened in your life, but I can tell that you're not happy with where you're at right now. And your mind is racing for, how can I get out of this? How can I solve this problem right away? How can I get back on the horse? How can I keep pushing, moving faster, moving harder? How can I achieve this abundance right here, right now? And I want to tell you that abundance is going to come. The abundance is in the future, but right now, what your body and mind and spirit is asking you to do is to take a break. And I know that that's the last thing that you want to do. But right now, you are in this energy of the bear. Bears have to hibernate. If a bear was to continue to look for salmon all throughout winter, when the salmon is just plain not there, it's not there to achieve, it's not there to grab, and if he just keeps pushing himself or herself, the bear is gonna die because the bear needs to conserve energy. The bear only has so many fats stored up for winter. What he needs, or she needs, sorry, I just keep using he for some reason. I don't know, I don't usually do that. But what the bear needs is to sit, to sleep, to hibernate, and to trust in divine timing, trust in the cycles of nature, that when the time is right, the bear will be woken up and abundance will be there to grab. And right now, what you need, and I know this doesn't sound right, maybe for example, it's like you lost your dream job and now you have to work as a cashier, and that's like the last thing that you want to do. You know, something really heartbreaking that I saw on TikTok not too long ago is there was this person was being driven by an Uber driver, and the Uber driver was actually had a master's in computer science, but got laid off because I guess that's just what the career field for computer science is like right now. There's just way too many people with comp sci degrees. And so even though this guy had a master's degree, he still couldn't get a job. And so he was forced to be an Uber driver to get by. And nobody would be happy in that situation. You put yourself through decades of schooling, so much hard work, and you finally get a job only to get laid off from it. And now you're at square one and you're not sure where to go next. And what that guy could have done is he could have buried his head in the sand and said, no, you know what? I'm too good for this. I have my master's degree. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep looking for other jobs. And it could have been nothing after nothing after nothing, and then just diving him into a deeper and deeper pit of lack of abundance. But what he needed to do in that situation was tuck that ego away and say, you know what? I'm going to do what it takes to get by. And I'm not going to be here forever, but I'm going to do what is needed right now until I can get my feet on the ground and figure out where my next steps are. Maybe that's what you need right now. Maybe you were at the height of your career and everything was looking great, and then you suddenly get knocked down to this place where you have nothing and you have no idea where to go next. Spirit is telling you right now, it might not be the outcome that you want, but what you need is rest. You just need to stop. Stop moving forward. I mean, with the disruption card, it's a full-on, you need a hard stop right here. We need to rest. We need time to recenter ourselves. We need time to heal. And then once you have a clear vision of your next steps forward, you can take them. But right now you're in a period of winter, and you are the bear, and you need to hibernate. You need to keep your energy stored up. And then when the time is right, I promise you, you will know. When that opportunity comes, or when the storm clears up and the sun comes out again, there will be this knowing within you of, okay, now it's time to move. Now it's time to start taking steps towards this goal. Now it's time to start working on XYZ. All of that will be clear to you. But right now, you don't know where to go. And your brain is scrambling, trying to come up with all these ideas of, I can do this or this or this, and maybe that'll get me faster to this abundance I'm trying to achieve. But it's not. Your spirit is trying to tell you right now, we just need a rest. We need to go through a couple of periods, a couple of months where we're doing nothing, or where we're doing this thing where, for example, the Uber thing, We don't love Uber. That's not what we wanted to do with our lives, but that's what Spirit's telling us we need to do right now. What can we take care of right now in the moment to just chill, keep things moving forward until the sun comes out again? It's like trying to fight your way through a hurricane. You can't do that. You need to wait for the hurricane to pass. And then once it's passed, then you can move forward. But you need to listen to the cycles. Listen to the cycles of nature and the cycles of your life. Right now, your life is in a period of winter. And it might be even worse because maybe your friends and family, they're in cycles of spring and summer and everything looks great for them and they have all this abundance and achievement. And here you are in wintertime and your ego is just taking blow after blow after blow. It sucks. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's the worst. But I want you to at least be able to cling on to faith that things are going to turn for the better. There is a period of spring coming for you. There is abundance coming for you. But right now, in the wintertime, you're going to have to learn to sit your ass down and wait. And that sucks. I have been in those periods where all I want to do is, can I get out of this? Like, I just want to move. But that's not what we're doing right now. And I wish that there was a better option. I wish I could tell you that, oh, abundance is just one click away and all you have to do is this and then you've got it. No. You have to do the hard thing of sitting where you're at right now, even though you hate it, even though you're unhappy, even though you're scared. What you need right now is rest. Your well is dry, and you need to give it time to fill back up before you take from it again. And then I know that that's a lot of like hard messages of like, yeah, it sucks, but you just need to sit there. But I want to give you what I'm seeing here at the very end, these last two cards, because I do see positivity coming for you. I keep calling it abundance, but that's kind of like a blanket statement of, what is this end goal that you're trying to achieve? If I go with the alchemist example, it's like, what's the treasure at the end of the book that you're trying to find? What is this specific career you're trying to achieve, this amount of money you're trying to achieve, this dream life you're trying to achieve? That's what I mean by abundance. What I see for you is after this period of rest, what you have here, you have the Hanged Man card. The Hanged Man card is, if you listen to you can go on YouTube and look up the Fool's Journey in Tarot. It's all the major arcana cards. It lays out the path of the Fool, the Zero card. It's kind of the first card, but it kind of also fits everywhere. It's the Fool's Journey throughout the story that the major arcana lays out. And the Hanged Man card symbolizes the period of rest that the Fool needs to go into. It's a period of contemplation, meditation, of stillness. And along this path, you might be so gung-ho to just breeze past all this that you don't see the wisdom in it. But there is wisdom to find where you're at right now. There are good things that are meant to come out of this period of rest. But what Spirit requires of you is that rest, is that meditation. Maybe your body is so amped up to keep moving that it's not giving you any time to look within your mind and ask yourself, is this still the path that I want to go down? Yes or no? Okay, the answer is yes. Yes, I still want to go down this path. Is that still a goal that I want to achieve at the end of this path? Yes, I still want that goal. Okay, what do I need to do to go there? I don't know. Okay, I don't know that answer. So let's sit on it. Let's do our research. Let's rest. Let's relax. Let's give our muscles some time to heal. And let's figure out what those next steps are before we keep driving our head first into the wall. And what I want to tell you is after this period of rest, you will get out of this. Like I said, winter only lasts so long. Winter is a fixed time period. This is not happening forever. This is not your end state. You are still going to be moving forward, even if it feels like winter lasts forever. Even if it feels like you're just sitting here in your little hibernation den and tossing and turning and all you can think about is spring and when you're going to get all that salmon. What I want you to focus on right now is what this period of time is asking from you. It's asking rest from you for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. Maybe you physically have been driving yourself to a breakdown, to a point of burnout, and maybe you just need to rest because you are burnt out. Maybe you're doing something that requires you to be creative and you can't be creative because you're in burnout. And maybe that's why you need this rest. Or maybe you need this rest because you emotionally can't handle it and you're gonna go crazy if you don't take a break. But whatever it is, whatever that reason is, Spirit is asking you to lean into that rest, lean into that meditation, that relaxation, to lean into this period of healing. And once you get off of this cross, so the hanged man, he takes this break, he hangs himself up on this cross. Once you get off of that cross, you are going to be in this metaphorical springtime. With this magic card, I see things are going to be happening for you so quickly. Like, genuinely, I'm imagining this explosion of movement. It's like, to go back to the bear example, it's like, all right, you're hibernating, you fully fall asleep, and it's like you fell asleep when you were in that period of nothingness, but as soon as you crack your eyes open, it's like, oh my God, abundance is right there. Like, springtime is right there. You don't need to wait any longer. As soon as you hop off this cross, as soon as you get out of this state, everything is happening so quickly. Like, opportunities are coming out the wazoo, and I don't know, people are blowing up your social media or blowing up your phone with offers and opportunities, or you're getting all these calls back all of a sudden, and everything is happening so quickly for you. Like, genuinely, what I see is after this period of winter, after this period of rest, after this period of needing to stop movement, once you are ready to get back on that horse, it's like everything is happening so fast. Everything that you've been waiting for is happening for you. But something that I want to say is, maybe you had to have this period of rest so that when all of this comes, you're ready to take it on. You're not completely drained of your energy. Like, imagine the bear that didn't sleep all winter, and now there's all this salmon. Now the bear is fucking exhausted, and it can't get out of its bed, and it's like sitting there watching all the other bears that had slept. Now all those other bears have the energy to chase after all the salmon, and you're sitting over here like, man, why didn't I fall asleep again? Was I really stressed out the entire winter that I didn't give myself any rest, and now I'm too exhausted to go out there and actually get what it is I've been waiting for? So I know it's a lot of analogies. I know it's a lot of metaphors, and I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I think Spirit is setting up something beautiful for you, and what it requires of you right now, in order to be ready for that, in order to fully enjoy what Spirit is bringing to you, what you need right now is rest. And it might be the thing that your ego is fighting against. Your ego doesn't want to stop moving. Your ego doesn't want to sit down and not do anything. But that's what it needs right now. So don't listen to your ego. What I want for you right now is lean on your faith, listen to your intuition, and listen to your guides. Your guides know what's best for you. And something that I truly believe is our ego will scream. Our ego will scream its head off, but our intuition whispers. Our intuition is calm and direct and tells us exactly what the truth is. And what the truth is this is coming. Your abundance, what you've been trying to achieve, it is coming. You are going to achieve it. But what you need right now is to listen to your body. Your body needs rest. And your ego is going to scream and smash all the windows and blare the alarms and scream about, oh, we can't stop moving, we need to keep going, people are going faster than us, the other bears are going to wake up first and they're going to get all the salmon, so therefore we must be awake all winter. No, don't listen to that. Listen to the calmness that is within you. You have your intuition within you telling you exactly what you need to do right now. Listen to that. Don't listen to the screaming. Don't listen to the fear. Have trust and have faith in the universe that what you wish for, what you desire, is coming. And right now, you have one job. And it's an easy job. I mean, it's difficult if you don't want to do it, but it's easy to do because it's just one thing. You just need to stop. You need to be still. You need to rest, and you need to wait for the right moment, because the right moment is coming. But you're not going to be able to get there unless you take the moment and stop and rest and relax. So, Pile 1, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that this reading made sense. It felt kind of like word salad from my end, but I hope that it found the person that needed to hear it. But that is everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. Alright, Pile 2. If you chose the blue Demorterite, then this is the reading for you. And your reading is interesting because usually I feel like I'm directly guiding and telling people exactly, like, here's where you're at, here's where you need to go, here's what you need to do. But for yours, I feel like it's more, I mean, we're going to get into it. I'm going to get into all the details, but your reading is a lot more just about you, your faith, and honestly, a lot of it is just patting you on the back because personally, I think your spirit guides think that you're doing a great job. I think there are definitely periods that you go through where you lack faith, and that's completely normal. People go through ups and downs, periods where you feel super in tune, you feel like your intuition is on fire, you know exactly what you're doing, you're feeling confident, and I feel like that for you, that's you the majority of the time. And everybody has those moments where we dip down into uncertainty and am I still going in the right direction? But I think what you've been doing, like the phrase I can use to sum up you along your spiritual path or whatever this path is let go and let God. I feel like you have just been, and that's amazing. I think you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Letting go of ego, letting go of fears, letting go of people trying to convince you against your intuition, and instead fully trusting, fully loving, and fully having faith in the universe that you're going in the right direction. And I'm going to get into the details here, but I want to start off with what your current energy is. And the reason that I'm getting all these vibes that I just explained to you is because you're showing up as the bat. And if you think about bats, which, by the way, bats are so freaking cute. Like, have you ever seen a fruit bat eating a banana? I love them. I love bats. I just had to say that because I love bats. They're so freaking cute. And sometimes I go outside and, like, I can hear them chirping, and I love to, like, you should try this. If you ever go camping or if you happen to live in nature somewhere where bats come out at night, sit down and, like, if you can hear those little chirps, those high frequency chirps, take like a little pebble or like a little piece of bark and throw it up into the air. What they're doing is they use those chirps as it like reflects back to them the sound, and then they know what direction they're going in because they can't really see, and they're using those chirps to find bugs in the air. So if you throw stuff up into the air, you'll see the bats fly by because they're trying to swoop after that thing that you threw because they think it's like a bug that they can eat. I know that's random and off topic, but bats are super freaking cute. And I think right now, they are your spirit animal. As in, that's like the energy that you're in right now. I keep getting sidetracked. I don't know if that's something that you do, but that's just the energy I'm in right now. Is like, I just want to like blah, 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 blah. But bats, all about bats. Bats live in the nighttime, and they live in caves, in extremely dark areas and times where like you can't see anything. So all that they have to go off of is faith, essentially. And I know it's a lot more than that. They have like their extra senses. They use their hearing and they use their chirps, and I'm forgetting the word right now. It's the same thing that dolphins use. I know there's a word for it. Something sonic, something whatever. Anyways, basically to me what they symbolize is somebody that even in the darkest points at nighttime, even in the darkest areas of the world, in the depths of a cave where there is no light and you don't have your sight to guide you, they still know exactly what direction that they're going in. And to me, this symbolizes you, where you may not know exactly what the universe is setting up for you. You may not know where it's leading you next, but you know it's all leading you in the right direction. And I don't know exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve. Maybe it's just this. Maybe it's not a specific thing that you're trying to achieve, rather it's you trying to achieve your dream life. I think you are just the kind of person that you have so much faith in the universe that you know you're being led in the right direction. And like a bat, even though it's completely dark and you have terrible vision, you are able to swoop face first into the wind as fast as possible because you trust your intuition. You trust that you are being guided in the right direction. You trust those extra senses that you have, that you are going where you're meant to go and that abundance is waiting for you. Something I want to encourage you to do is read the book The Alchemist. If you don't have the attention span for reading, listen to it as an audiobook while you work or while you work out or whatever. That has been a book that has inspired me so much along my spiritual path, along my journey, because that book is all about spirituality, and it's all about following your heart and how the universe leads us to abundance, leads us to where we're meant to go, even though there's twists and turns. And I truly mirror back, like, when I'm in certain points in my life where I'm uncertain, or I feel like I'm not on the right path anymore, or like I feel stuck, or like I'm not moving forward. I think back to different points in the book and just, I don't know. It's a really good inspiration for people that live in tune with their intuition and live in tune with the cycles of the universe and truly believe that we are guided. I think that's a great book for you. You might find some great wisdom out of it. But anyways, back to the energy that you're in right now. You're really symbolizing that bat energy where even though you can't see exactly where you're being led to, you just lead with intuition, lead with faith, and because of that, that's what's going to get you moving so much faster. Is like your trust falling with the universe, and because there's no hesitance, it's getting you to move along a lot faster. And genuinely, I truly believe when we can follow our intuition 100%, when we have faith in the universe, when we can see the omens, when we can see the signs and know exactly where we're meant to go based on intuition, and when we don't second guess that and let our ego hold us back, that's when you are going so much faster towards your goals than anybody else. Because when you let your ego hinder you and your ego tells you, well, maybe it'll be better if we go this direction or try it this way, and really it's just being led by fear rather than intuition, that's when we get setbacks. That's when we get led to the wrong areas. That's when the universe needs to break us out of it, and it ends up being this whole thing. But when you fully just lean into your intuition, that's when it's smooth sailing. Even when, sometimes I use this analogy of like being on a ship and you're surrounded by fog. You've no idea what to go. You can't even use the stars to guide you, but you have your compass. And the compass symbolizes intuition. The compass is always pointing us in the direction that we're meant to go. And even when you can't see ahead of you, if you can trust that, if you can lean on that, and not listen to the fears of, oh, what if there's rocks right in front of us, or what if the compass is broken? You just lean into, you know what, the compass is right, my intuition is guiding me. You're gonna be able to keep going, and you're gonna get to your destination super fast. But I want to get into the details of what I'm seeing here for you right now. So where you're currently at in your journey, and I'm not gonna get into exactly, what your path is, because I'm not seeing those details. Most of what I'm seeing has to do with you, has to do with like pats on the back and like just basically your spirit guides congratulating you and being proud of you and telling you you're doing everything right. But what I'm seeing for you is you have the Four of Pentacles reversed and the Love card. So the Four of Pentacles reversed, this is all about letting go of things that are holding us back. If you look at this card, I'll turn it so you can actually see it. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, my camera's a little dark. It's because I'm using the natural lighting and it's kind of cloudy today. But anyways, like I said, I'm rambling a lot. I don't know if you have like ADHD or something, but I just keep getting like off track. Anyways, this card. You see this guy is holding on to all these pentacles. Now, if you were to tell him like, go run a race, he's going to try to hold on to all these things and it's going to weigh him down. And I'm almost imagining these pentacles as they symbolize our ego. They symbolize our fears. They symbolize us needing to put up a certain facade or needing to act a certain way to look cool or needing to do certain things because we feel like they'll make us likable. When you fully let go of all that, when you are just fully yourself, nothing hindering you, nothing holding you down, no anchors holding you in place, you are able to run so fast. And I feel like you've gotten to this point where you have let go of those things. You've let go of fears, you've literally let go and let God. Literally putting your trust in the universe, putting your trust in your faith and in your spirit guides, in your intuition. And with that comes not only that speed that I was telling you about, because nothing is holding you back. Not only are you moving towards your goals and moving towards abundance so much quicker, but you're also fully feeling that love from the universe that you can feel when you are blessed by the universe. Because I think when you fully lean into that intuition, when you lean into that trust of the universe, you are blessed so much more. Because you actually see blessings for what they are. You see how the universe is guiding you every step of the way. This is kind of why I encourage you to read the book The Alchemist, is because there are a lot of setbacks that the main character, Santiago, faces. He has a lot of things that, to somebody that doesn't have faith, to somebody that doesn't have any sort of spiritual belief, they would just see those things as bad luck or setbacks or bad things happening. But he views them as, those things were helping him along the way. Every single step along the way, he was being guided. Every step had omens or signs that were showing him the way. And so for you, because you've leaned into this intuition, because you've leaned into this faith, you see everything as how it is helping you, how everything is happening for you, not to you. And I think not only is that helping you move forward faster, but it's also just elevating your mood in general. I think it's allowing you to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey so much more. Now up next, we have the Six of Cups and the Happiness card. And these two cards are all about, what are your next steps along this path? What are the next steps that you should be taking? I think with the Six of Cups, like I said, I don't exactly know what your path is, but this card to me symbolizes like love, friendships, family, but like in the pure sort of way. So maybe like siblings, close friends, or family members that simply want to help you. What I'm seeing is even when you're not seeking answers from the universe, you will still get them in ways that you're not expecting. Like, for example, if you're not completely focused on, or here's an example. Let's say you have a question of, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And it's this major question that's on your mind, but instead of focusing on it 24/7, you kind of say, you know what? When the time is right, the universe will show me what it is I'm meant to do with my life. And then you let go and let God, like I said, and then you go and you spend time with family. Maybe you're painting with your grandmother, and in that process, you're talking to her, and she reveals this information, and all of a sudden it makes things click in your mind, and suddenly you have that answer, and you're like, this is what I'm passionate about. I know what I want to do. And maybe it's not what you were expecting. Maybe you thought like, oh, I'll figure it out when I do this job quiz online. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I think answers and guidance from the universe are going to come from places that you're not expecting. And I think it's specifically going to come in times where you're around people that you truly love wholeheartedly and who you're just spending time with, like, in a very pure way. I don't know why, but for some reason I just get this sense that when you feel that pureness, when you feel that energy of completion and love, especially from other people, I think that's when you are going to be in the best spot to receive the guidance that you're looking for. I think if you have a certain question on your mind right now, something you really want to know the answer to, instead of forcing it, instead of like putting your nose to the grindstone and reading all these books and taking all these online quizzes trying to figure it out, let go of it. Tell the universe, this is the question that I have, and I'm leaving myself open to receiving the answer. And then just go about life. Go take a walk in a park, be amongst nature, do things that make you happy. I truly believe that the universe will bring you these answers, not when you're in a state of need and freaking out and anxiety, but when you're in that state of calm and happiness, and just when you're surrounded by love, whether it's by other people or animals or just by doing what you love, that's when those answers will come to you. And it might come to you from the mouth of somebody else that doesn't even realize they're saying it, doesn't even realize that spirit is speaking through them to you. Or maybe it'll even come just in a random moment where suddenly a phrase comes to mind and it's like, oh, that's the answer I was looking for. Or it'll be a bumper sticker or a billboard. But those things will come to you. And I specifically feel like they're going to come to you when you're enjoying the journey. Because right now you are on this path, you are on the journey, even if it doesn't feel like it, because maybe you're just laying in bed or maybe you're just on your phone browsing social media. But those answers will come to you when you're enjoying life. Because the journey isn't just when we're doing certain things, the journey is life. It's life along the way towards, whatever is waiting for us at the end of this path. But those answers that you're seeking, the guidance that you're seeking, will come when you are at your happiest, when you feel the most love, and when you feel the most at peace. I don't know why, because I don't think this is the case for everybody. I think you can get answers and guidance whenever, but specifically for you, I don't know, maybe it's an incentive the universe is trying to give you, like incentivizing you to go out and enjoy life and just take some pressure off of things. It's like, okay, when you can relax, when you can take pressure off things and have a good time, then I'll give you what you're looking for. But the universe doesn't want you to be upset. And I think that's exactly what they're doing. It's trying to incentivize you to go be relaxed, go spend time with your loved ones. If you find yourself really stressed out trying to understand something and you just can't get it, instead of rolling it over in your mind a million times, go spend time with your loved ones. Go do something that you enjoy. The universe will bring you the answer, and then it's going to kind of incentivize you to, keep doing the things that you love. Keep spending time with your loved ones. Keep enjoying your hobbies. Keep being out in nature. We're going to keep giving you those answers when you're doing these wonderful things, because you deserve to do these wonderful things. Not just wait until you're successful to do these things, but to do it along the way. To love the journey every step of the way. Because it's your life. Your life never goes on pause or on hold until you achieve what you want. You're always right there in the midst of it. And you have to enjoy it along the way. And so finally, with the Eight of Cups and the Pain card, I think the universe is trying to tell you, along this path, there's still going to be difficult things that we need to do. And some of those things might look like walking away from things that are no longer serving us. But I think the universe doesn't need to tell you when it's time to walk away from something. More so just needs to remind you that in order to achieve the things that you want, in order to have this dream life or to have this manifestation that you're seeking, you're gonna have to let go of things that are no longer serving you. And sometimes this is painful because, I don't know, maybe one of the things that you need to let go of is something that you devoted years of your life to. Something that you loved every step of the way, but when it no longer feels right, when your intuition is telling you it's time to move on, trust in that. The universe is telling you, if that cup is empty, it's time to let go of it. It's time to walk away. And I know it's painful, and for some of these things that you need to move on from, maybe it's relationships that are no longer serving you. Maybe what you'll need to do is actually give that thing a funeral. I don't know, maybe for example, it's like walking away from a painting. Like you were doing this painting and you devoted years of your life to it, and then all of a sudden one day it no longer feels right. I don't know why, but it just doesn't feel right to you. And your heart is telling you it's time to move on from this thing. But your mind and your ego is like, well, we need to finish it. We need to keep doing this. We devoted so much time to it. But if your heart and your intuition is repeatedly telling you it's time to move away from this thing, then we need to move away from it. And like I said, maybe something that will help you along the way is let's have a funeral for that painting. I know it might sound silly, but let's come up with a ceremony of something to make us feel like we're closing out a chapter of our life and giving it the send-off that it deserves. Or walking away from certain relationships, having a funeral for that relationship because you're mourning a person that you used to be, a relationship that you used to have. And it deserves to have a proper send-off. But I think more than anything, the universe is telling you, this path that you want to walk, these things that you want to achieve, they're going to require you to make space for them. And they're going to require you to walk away from things that are no longer serving you. And this is going to be painful, because any kind of breakup or walking away from anything, no matter how small, is still going to be painful. But just remember, it is always leaving space for that new thing that you're desiring to come in, for that dream life that you are trying to build to be able to manifest into your life. Because it needs room. You can't find your soulmate if you're still with that person that you have that on-again, off-again relationship with. That person's not your soulmate. And you're not going to make room for your soulmate unless that space is empty. And it's going to be difficult. Cutting those things off is never easy. But you know in your heart, you know in your soul that it is the right thing to do. So, that is the message I want to leave you with. I think the overall message here is you're doing great. You are doing exactly what you need to be doing. Letting go and letting God, opening up space for these new things to come in, trusting your intuition, even when it's night and you can't see. You can't see the steps ahead, but you know in your heart you're supposed to go in this direction. Keep doing that. Keep trusting that. I promise you, you are going in the right direction and you are going to achieve this life that you're trying to manifest. But there's going to be hard things to walk away from along the way, and that's going to be hard. But I promise you, you are going to achieve what you're setting out to do. I genuinely see it. I think it's very rare that I see these kinds of readings where people are fully able to just let go and trust their intuition. And the fact that you're able to do that, to push away these fears and just lean into that faith, that's amazing. So, Pile 2, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading, but that's all I have. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. All right, Pile 3. If you chose the Malachite, then this is the reading for you. And I just want to say that I can already tell that there's a very heavy energy in your reading specifically. And I'm gonna do my best to get you through it, but I think more than anything, what I feel like you personally are seeking, I feel like you're grasping for some sort of understanding of why these things have happened. And I get the feeling that some of you have even gone so far as to just stop believing altogether. I feel like what this pile shares in common is there has been something so catastrophic, something that has hurt you so deeply that it has just completely uprooted any faith that you had, any belief in your spirit guides, I feel like your entire vision of the future has been shifted dramatically. Now, I want to say off the bat, if that does not resonate with you, this probably isn't the reading for you. might have chosen the wrong pile. You might want to go to the beginning. But I just get this very heavy, dejected energy from this pile. And I want to start off with where you're at right now in your path. And this is kind of going out of order of what I've done for the other piles, but where you're at right now, you have the 10 of Cups reversed. And this card shows me that there has been a breakup in the foundations of your life. And what I mean by that is your closest inner circle, your family, your closest friends, your partner, your children, something has gone completely wrong from where you were hoping to go with your life. For some of you, this analogy that came to mind is like maybe you had this partner that you've been with for 5 or 10 years, and you've envisioned a future with them for so long. You've thought about having kids with them. You've pictured your future together. You've pictured what retirement would be like with them. And something has taken them away from you. Whether it was an actual death, or maybe something catastrophic happened that removed them from your life altogether, and your entire vision of the future has shifted. The person that you thought you would be, the life that you thought that you would have, the future that you thought you would have when you imagine 10 years from now what my life is going to look like, no longer exists. Because something has been wiped away. Something has completely changed. And maybe it's not the loss of a family member. Maybe it's not something external. Maybe it's something internal. Like I'm going to come up with some extreme examples, and this doesn't necessarily need to be you, but I'm thinking something on the scale of you got into a car accident, you lost a leg. And now just moving through life looks completely different. Or you are paralyzed from the waist down, and just moving through life is just, everything has completely shifted. And you pictured your future looking a certain way. You pictured yourself being able to do certain things. You pictured yourself being a certain kind of person. And life has just shown you something completely out of left field. And it's not something that you thought you'd ever have to live through or learn how to adapt to. You were picturing something completely different. And I think as bad as you're feeling right now, and as bad as your current circumstances feel to you, I feel what I'm seeing in these cards is there is a small part of you that is still clinging to faith. Whether it's faith in the specific religion that you ascribe to, or faith in the spiritual beliefs that you have, faith in yourself, faith that things can turn around. There's a part of you that wants to believe that things can be better. There is a part of you that still believes that things can turn around, or that there is a bright side to things. And that part of you feels so small and so minute, I don't even know if you recognize it right now. I think what I'm imagining is somebody that was living this wonderful life. Everything was on track. Things weren't necessarily perfect, but at least it was quote unquote normal. And now you feel so opposite of that. Like the train has completely derailed and there's no way to get the train on the tracks. But there is a small part of you that wants to believe that there's something good that can come out of this. There's a small part of you that is trying to wake up, a part of you that is trying to shake you into movement, that feels like there is a reason for this happening. And the rest of you is fighting against that. The rest of you wants to lay down on the train tracks. The rest of you wants to lay down and never get up. I feel like the rest of you just wants to give up and to never wake up and to just you probably haven't heard this song. It's kind of niche, even though it's a Taylor Swift song. But there's a song that's like, I wish I could remember the name. It's like, I'm Still at the Restaurant or something like that. And it basically paints this story of a woman getting broken up with in a restaurant. And even though years have passed by, they've never moved on from that moment. And I feel like that's you. There's a part of you that never wants to move on, to never admit that this is your new reality, to pretend like you can still do all the same things that you used to do, to pretend like everything is still, that you can still be the person that you were before. You haven't yet adjusted to the fact that this is reality now. your future looks completely different. I mean, I'll give you an example. If we go to the spouse example, you were imagining you were going to live your whole life with this person, and then they cheat on you. And you haven't woken up to the fact that I'm not having kids with this person. I'm not getting married to this person. We're not going to live together. We're not going to grow old together because this thing has shattered. And it's like you're looking at this mirror that's shattered and you're still pretending like it's whole. And it's like trying to wake up to the fact that things are different, but you just don't want to admit it and you don't want to live through it and you don't even want to see what life has in store because this is not the life that you wanted to live. You were picturing a completely different life for yourself, a completely different version of you, a completely different everything. Hobbies, things that you would be able to do, people that you would be around, and it's all different. Your entire life has shifted 180 degrees and everything is, I feel like the word you would use is ruined. And that's not the word that I want to use because from my point of view, I'm looking at these cards and I see the big perspective and I see that there is still a future for you. There is still a bright, beautiful future for you, but you right now, you are so dark in the depths of this pit that you don't even see a sliver of light. But even despite that, even despite those feelings, the feeling that you just want to lay down and never get up, there is still a small part of you that refuses to go out. There is still a small part of you that wants to keep moving forward, that wants to keep living, to keep going, to see what life still has in store for you. And I want to start with this golden egg card. And I'm going to read from the guidebook, that's why I have it out here. Because this is a very special card. This is not, the other cards on the deck are animals. And to me, they symbolize different kinds of people, different kinds of things, different emotions, different actions. But there's a select few of these cards that are very hard to explain. And this being one of them. This is one of the spirit cards in this deck, the golden egg. And I'm just going to read it for you, what the book talks about. So the golden egg is the message at the center of the heart, the unstruck sound. Within the golden egg lives a precious sound. Deep within that sound resides a message. The sound cannot be heard, nor the message discerned, until we retreat from the noise of modern-day life. The magical essence of the golden egg needs warmth, quiet, and time to unfold. No rushing, pushing, or grasping. Find a place of deep and restful ease, perhaps through yoga or meditation. If you do not yet have a meditation practice, take some time for introspection or contemplation. When the mind begins to settle and the breath is calm, ask the question that weighs heaviest on your heart, staying open to any response you hear. Engaging with the energy of the golden egg is an advanced practice. It requires becoming intimate with our very essence and comfortable with vulnerability. When a feeling of tenderness or gratitude arises from deep within you, know that you are well on your way. Your chest may swell like you're seeing an old friend that's been away for a long, long time. Listen to the message they've been waiting to tell you. And I feel like what this says to me about what I'm seeing in your cards is no matter how much you tell people about what you've gone through, nobody... And I don't say this to push you away from talking to people. I think talking to people is very important, and you definitely need to have people around you at this time. But nobody is going to have the answers that you're looking for except for you. Because at the end of the day, something as catastrophic as this is like all people can do is offer their condolences or offer like, man, it sucks what you've been through. Like, I'm here for you in any way that you need, but nobody knows exactly what to say. And it's frustrating and it sucks because you want somebody to have the answers, but they just don't. And it leaves you feeling alone and tired. And what I have to say with this card is that tiny part of you that still is clinging to optimism or clinging to moving forward, clinging to there is something beautiful that still awaits us, that wants to still build life, even though life feels so different to what we had always imagined and envisioned. That tiny part of you, you are able to speak to. The other people around you, they might not have all the answers, but you opening up to yourself, looking within, That's where you're going to find the comfort and the answers and the guidance that you are seeking. And you might not even be actively seeking guidance. You might not even know what it is that you're seeking. But there is a part of you that wants to open up to you and speak to you. And it is so small right now. You can't even hear it. You can't even see it or feel it. But there is a small part of you that wants to be awoken, that wants to speak to you. And what I see here for you is there is a brilliant future out there for you still. It doesn't feel like it right now. And I can tell that you are so heartbroken by whatever it is that you've gone through that you don't even want to imagine a different future, because that was always your ideal future. The future with that person, or the future where you were able-bodied, or the future where you had these things, but now you've lost it all. And you're starting over from square one, and you don't even want to start over. Because it's like, what's the point? It's not the life that I've always envisioned. And it's true. You can't go back to that life. You can't recreate the one that has been shattered. It's shattered. But you can move forward. And I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but there is a part of you that still wants to fight. There is a part of you that I'm seeing in this reading that is screaming to be let out, to be heard. And you can't hear it because it's so small. It's like you were a roaring flame that somebody doused with water, and it's gone completely out, and there's just smoke and ash. But there is one little ember that is still trying to keep going. And a part of you is like, I don't have the energy to rebuild this. I don't have the energy to give back into this. I don't even know if I want to shine anymore. But there is that tiny spark that is not ready to go out yet. And at the very least, I think you would be doing a disservice to yourself to not at least nurture that tiny spark, to see where that's going to lead you. It's not going to lead you to what you were hoping for in the past. That's gone. And it sucks. I wish I could tell you, like, you can just turn back time and rewind it and everything will be fine. But that's not the answer I have for you here today. You're not able to go back to that future you were always envisioning. But there is a new future that is waiting to be built. And you right now, I get the sense that you're on the precipice of giving up, that you don't want to keep moving forward. You don't want to rebuild. You don't want a different future, because that was the future you had always wanted. Not whatever else the universe has in store. You had what you wanted and you lost it, and now what's the point of moving forward? But I think you'd be doing a disservice to yourself and to your spirit and to your heart if you gave up on that tiny spark that wants to grow. And what you need right now is not to put your nose to the grindstone and keep pushing forward and to work yourself to the bone. That's not what you need. What you need right now is to just rest. You've just gone through something horrendous, something catastrophic, something literally life-altering. Something that changed your entire life, and not just your life, but your entire vision for the future, your entire sense of self. Everything has been broken. What you need right now is time to rest, time to grieve. Something I would advocate for is, you may still be alive, but I guess a funeral would be appropriate if you had actually lost somebody. But let's say, like, I don't know, your spouse cheated on you. It's shitty, it sucks, and you want to be angry at them. But something that you deserve, and something that might help you, is having a funeral for that relationship, for that person, for that bond, and for that future that you thought that you would have. Like, for example, you imagine having kids with that person, you imagine getting married. All of those things you are grieving at once. You're not just grieving the person and the relationship, you're grieving the version of yourself you had imagined, the future that you had always desired. So I want you to sit down. Maybe this looks like writing a letter to yourself about how you had all these hopes and these dreams and now they've shattered. Or maybe it looks like lighting a candle and speaking to that future version of yourself that you always wanted to be. Telling it how much you miss it, how much you wish you could have embodied it. But now how it's gone and how that makes you feel. But you can't just let these feelings fester, and you can't ignore them. You can't pretend like nothing happened. You can't pretend like you can just move forward and be fine. You're not fine. And I think you need to admit that, first and foremost. And like I said, having some sort of ceremony where you where you let go of this thing. That's why we have funerals, so we can let go of people, so we can move forward and not move on, because you're never going to move on. There's always going to be a hole there. But how can we move forward? What can we say to close out this chapter? What can we say to mourn this thing that we were hoping to have, or this person that we thought we would have more time with? What do you need right now? I think Spirit is telling you your next steps are not to take any steps at all. It's time to grieve. It's time to mourn and let yourself feel any way that you need to feel. You might feel a cocktail of emotions because of all the chemicals running through your body. You might feel extremely sad and dejected and screaming and crying, and then the next you might feel complete apathy and numbness and nothing, and then the next you might be laughing hysterically because you don't know what's happening to your body. Your body is being thrown through the ringer and it doesn't know what to do. You might be sitting still, feeling your heart racing 1,000,000 miles an hour. But what you need, something I'll tell you is, God, like about a year ago, me and my girlfriend were in a shooting, and it was pretty fucking traumatic. Nobody got hurt, thank God, but I did suffer some PTSD from that, as one does when you go through something traumatic. It's literally post-traumatic stress disorder. And I had never dealt with anything like that. I was not raised in a war zone. I've never been in an experience like that. And so all of these feelings were completely new. I didn't know how to process it, but I knew that I had to listen to my body. And I felt like I was in a daze the next day after. And I had things to do. I had like fucking company pickleball to go to. So imagine me fucking literally shell shock trying to play pickleball, and like it felt good because I was distracted and I was moving my body, and like I was like distracted for a bit. But then the next part of that, it was like a company retreat. The next part of that was a massage. And I thought like, okay, we're going to go to this spa and it's going to be relaxing and that'll help me. But I was sitting there in the silence with nothing to distract me, and I was freaking out because my body just had an adrenaline dump and it didn't know what to do with all this energy. And I just had to let my body feel the way that it felt. And after that massage, I cried, and I thought, okay, maybe if I cry, it'll release all of this energy and it'll release this stress. But that didn't work. And then so I went to the hot tub because, of course, we were at this spa, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to chill. And I'm sitting there in the hot tub, and I can't catch my breath, even though I'm sitting still. And I'm having a panic attack, and my heart is beating so fast, and I'm trying to maintain conversation, and I don't know what to do. And so I call my girlfriend, I tell her to pick me up, and I just sit in the car and I cry. And I don't know what you've gone through. Maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you got cheated on, and no matter what it is, do not belittle it. Don't think, well, everybody goes through a breakup. Breakups are losing somebody you loved, except they're still there. They are, in my opinion, even more traumatic because it's a betrayal. And you have to mourn this loss of somebody who's right there, and they have suddenly destroyed your life. Or maybe you lost your home, and you don't know what to do next. And all I can tell you is, when you've gone through something this traumatic, you just need to let your body do what it's gotta do. I did not know how to handle PTSD, and thank God nothing bad actually happened, and I was able to heal from it. In a matter of a week, I think I was okay. But the people in my life didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Not to get into it too much, but people didn't know how to help me. And, a week later, I was fine. I felt okay. I wasn't having these stress responses, but my girlfriend, she worked differently, and I didn't know how to help her. And she wasn't okay for a few months, like dealing with physical nausea and headaches that wouldn't go away. And you just have to listen to your body, and you have to ride the wave. And don't try to suppress it. If your body needs to cry, let it cry. If your body is numb and you feel nothing, and you just find yourself dissociating, do what you can to keep yourself comfortable. And if you find yourself wanting to scream, go out into nature and scream. If your mind is too busy and you don't know what to do with it, find something to do with your hands. Cook safely, of course. Don't cook if you're dissociating. Paint. Do things that make you happy. Surround yourself with people that you love. Tell them what's going on. And even if they don't understand, say, I don't need advice right now. I just need somebody's presence. Or I need somebody to listen, and I'm just gonna word vomit. But your body will tell you what it needs. I didn't know I would be dealing with PTSD. We were out on a date night. We were gonna go do something fun, and all of a sudden a woman starts firing a gun, like fucking 5 feet away from us. Not to trauma jump, but like, if this can help somebody, it's worth sharing. So, I didn't know how to deal with what my body was going through, what my mind was trying to process. I imagine it was like a computer, and it's trying to process all this information, and it's like overheating and the fans are going crazy, and it's like freezing up. That was me, and I just had to let it do its thing. I think if I had tried to stop it, or if I had tried to distract it, or force myself to feel a different way, or put on a bunch of movies and stuff just to deflect and like put my mind elsewhere, it would not have allowed me to heal. So what I did is, even though it was uncomfortable, I leaned into it. When my mind was replaying it over and over and over again, I just let it happen. The brain is just trying to understand what happened. It's trying to protect it from happening again. So it's playing it over and over and over again, examining it from every angle, trying to understand, how can we prevent this? How can we do better next time? Because it's our survival instinct. You need to remember, you're an animal. And animals have brains that are just trying to wire you to survive. And even if you weren't in a life-threatening altercation, something that's like being cheated on, or something like losing your house, or something like losing a loved one, that is still a major trauma. And you might be telling yourself, like, well, it wasn't that extreme. Whatever you've gone through has affected you this deeply. It doesn't matter what it is. We're not comparing sizes here. It matters what you do next and what you need right now. And I highly encourage you, if you have the means to do so, seek out therapy, seek out a counselor. I mean, I know it's hard to find the right one. I've had my own personal issues trying to find like the right therapist, and it's exhausting when you have kooky ones. But talking to somebody right now could be instrumental, especially a professional that like knows how to deal with these things. They can give you tips and tricks that might help you understand. Or reading books, people writing about what, things that they've gone through that have been the same things that you've gone through. Losing a loved one. There are millions of books about grief. And even if you didn't necessarily lose a loved one, I promise you, there are books or podcasts or YouTube videos out there of people talking about exactly how they got through what you're going through right now. And Spirit's just telling you the next steps that you need is you just need to lay down. Let your body do its thing. If your body's gonna cry, let it cry. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to wall up anything. Don't suppress anything. Just let it do what it needs to do. Your body just needs to get things out of its system. And then your brain's going to get things out of its system. It's going to think things over and over again. You're going to go through periods of feeling this way and then feeling this way, and then it's going to be like a whirlwind. But you got to let it do what it's got to do. That's your first step, is just let go and let your body ride that wave. Don't try to force anything. Don't try to suppress anything. Just let it go. Let it do what it needs to do. No matter what you've gone through, your body knows how to process it. Even if you don't know what to do, you don't know how to help yourself, you don't even know how to breathe right now, trust me, your body knows what to do. And you will make it out of this. You will move forward. And if it's any consolation, I do see in the cards, like, there's a beautiful future still out there for you. There is so much beauty, so many beautiful experiences that you still have yet to have. Beautiful relationships with people you have yet to meet. There is so much life still within you. Even if you're 80 years old and you have 1 year left to live, that's still a year of life filled with mystery, filled with experiences that you haven't had yet. Life is still waiting for you. There is still more to be done. And I know it feels right now like your life has ended, because it's true. The past version of you has died. The past version of you that had this person in your life, or had movement in your legs, or had this career, or had this ability, or had this reputation, that version of you is gone. But you're still here. You are not defined by that past version of you. You are defined by who you are now and who you are able to be in the future. The world is your oyster, and I know it doesn't feel like that right now. But if it's any solace, I want you to know that I see in these cards there's still so much left for you. And finally, guidance from your spirit guides is telling you have the 9 of Swords in the Mystery card. There is a very rough patch of life that's still ahead for you because you're mourning, you're going through grief, you are in pain. You're going to wake up in the middle of the night crying. You're going to wake up one morning and you're going to forget that this is your current life. You're going to still think that you're the past version of yourself, and then you're going to wake up and realize, oh shit, that person actually did leave me. And then you're going to remember exactly where you are, and it's going to suck. Because for a moment, you're back there living in that past life where you were happy, where everything was okay. And then reality is like a ton of bricks. And for a while, life is going to suck. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I don't want you to get into this cycle of believing that this is all that life can be. Like I said, I don't know how easy it is to hear this or if it's any solace to you, but I truly do see there is beauty waiting for you out there. There are new relationships with new people that are going to love you so much. There is a new version of you that is still able to love life. Even in the extreme example of maybe you really did lose a limb, and that I don't even know how to deal with something like that. I don't know what to tell you. But I can tell you, you still have your life. And life may look different, mobility may look different. But that doesn't mean that life needs to be bad. Different does not mean that it needs to be bad. And I want you to, at the very least, I'm not going to tell you to have an open mind. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel, but leave a little bit of space to be open for good things to come in. Just a little bit. Leave a little bit of room in your heart and in your mind for positivity and optimism. I know it's not easy because part of you just wants to roll over and cry and feel grief, but there is good that is coming to you. I know it doesn't feel like that, but there is, and I can see it in these cards, and I can feel it as I feel your spirit guides. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but I genuinely feel these things when I do these readings. And I feel this hope and positivity, and I see this shining light right around the corner. On the outside of this tunnel, but right now you're in the dark, and you can't see it, but I can tell you if you can keep moving forward, life can be beautiful again. And in a different way that you're not expecting. And maybe you thought life could only be beautiful in the way that you were picturing, and now things are different. But I promise you, there is a beauty to life that you haven't even begun to understand. And I hope that that can be some solace to you. I know I don't have all the perfect words, and nobody does. Like I said at the beginning, nobody's going to have the perfect words because nobody's gone through what you're going through right now. Only you have. Maybe people have gone through similar situations, but everybody reacts differently. Even like I told you, my girlfriend and I, we both went through that shooting. And we both reacted to it in different ways. And our PTSD expressed itself in very different ways. Even though I knew how to help myself by listening to my body and letting it get everything out of its system and do what it needed to do to process, telling her that wasn't, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. She had to go through that in her own way. And we move through life differently now. But I hope you can know that I do see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel for you. And I hope that at the very least this could bring some semblance of help to you through this difficult time that you're going through. Like I said, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that it has been very hard. And I hope that if you found this video that this is what you needed to hear right now. And I want you to know I am on your side. Your spirit guides are on your side. And it might not feel like it, because why would they let you go through this thing? But it is a part of your journey. It's a part of your path. And sometimes those things are not things that we want, but they are ours. And at some point, you gotta own it. So, pile 3, that is everything that I have. I hope this helped you, but yeah. That's everything that I have. Sorry for being so depressing, but I hope that this helped you out a little bit. But yeah, I hope you have a good one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.